This is Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. Here's your host, Mark News.
And thanks so much for joining us this morning on Columbus Concerns. Chuck Gehering is with us from Lifecare Alliance, and it's always great to see you, Chuck. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
If you don't know Lifecare Alliance, one of the main things they do is Meals on Wheels, such an important asset to our community. And Chuck, you always need volunteers to help out.
Yes, we do, and it's much worse. COVID continues. Well, we don't think it's continuing. It's continuing. We shot up in April of 2020 when COVID hit. We shot up 68% in home-delivered meals. We continued to take everybody, and we were the only ones really in the top 100 markets nationally that still took people. And we got everybody in that needed to get in. And as of today, we're still up over 60%, slightly over 60%. I can't believe it. I thought it would have dropped way back by now. But the people we've taken, we have to assess them so we know them pretty well. And I would tell you they found us, and they're not going to go away because they just can't. They've lost their supports. Things have changed for them during COVID. We've got a lot of people on long haul COVID, as they call it, and things like that. So as a result, we have 190 routes a day going out to visit these people, and that's through multiple counties. But Franklin's the biggest, and then Madison, Champaign, Logan, and Marion. But Franklin's the biggest, and we need people just desperately to get these meals out. And we do have paid drivers that go out also. But, you know, Meals on Wheels was developed as the best way to keep you independent in your own home. Every study's ever done has shown that. And proper nutrition. And the fact of the matter is we have to get these meals out to people every day. And it's a wonderful thing. It all go out at lunchtime. We're still 365, so we'll be delivering on all the holiday times here. And I would tell you, while we always need people on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's Day, we really need people after that. The Friday, Saturday, Sunday after Thanksgiving, we're desperate. We'll always be desperate the days between Christmas and New Year's Day. And then once you hit January, we lose some of our drivers who are older to the south or the west or wherever they go in the cold season. And we're just desperate for people to get the meals out every day. Every day's an adventure just trying to get everything out, and we want to make sure we can serve everybody because the people are really depending on these meals to show up at their house. It's the lifeline, and you become their lifeline.
And let's just face it, if you had to pay all your drivers, you couldn't serve people the way you do.
We would be the same as other cities, and I would tell you Cincinnati, Toledo, and Cleveland today, they have at least minimum of 1,500 people on a wait list for Meals on Wheels.
Wow.
And this is horrible because, and it's money, and we understand that and other things, that what they're doing, but Cleveland's just a mess the way they do it. But they... I would tell you that about 25% of our new clients come out of the hospitals. So you're in the hospital. You can be in the hospitals for a week or two easily, can't you? I mean, if you go to the James, you can be in there for a month sometimes. And if you don't have any supports, they'll fix you, and they're wonderful. The hospitals, we're lucky to have the hospitals we have, but when you come home, you have no fresh food in the house. You end up eating crackers, and you end up getting back into the hospital, which is not good for anybody.
Right.
And we've seen, and every study has proven this out, and we've seen this over the years. So once you get home, you need to be at home. And the hospitals here know if they call us by 2 p.m. on day one, and they're going to release you day two, that we'll be out there that day with food, and you can start getting going and on your way to recovery. And it's been shown, we keep the stats on this, it's shown that once you're on our meals, for up to 90 days, you improve by 30% on your assessments. And we get a lot of people out of the hospitals that only need us for 8 to 16 weeks. They don't need us forever. They need us to recover from their illness and recently it's been COVID. They need to get back from COVID. They haven't been able to go to the store. They're afraid to go to the store. And it's just difficult for them. They've lost income. It's been a mess. And so once they eat properly and they get back on their feet, then they're good again. They don't need us anymore. So, but we need help in getting all these out every day.
I think the last time you were here, you said that you were either the only one or one of the only Meals on Wheels programs in the country without a waiting list.
Yeah, that's true. And there are some that will claim they don't have waiting lists, but they have much more restrictive entrance requirements into the program. And don't think those are people that we're taking people that don't need the help. They need the help. Trust me, I've seen them. I see them every day. And but they have more restrictive. But generally, most of them just can't. They just don't take people. They can't afford it. They don't have the volunteer base, whatever. I mean, we have 3 full-time people that do nothing but recruit volunteers. But as you can imagine, we've taken, since I've been there, over $1 million a year out in paid drivers every year, which we don't pay those 3 people $1 million a year, trust me. So we have a big ROI on that. But the program was developed to be delivered by a volunteer. That's how it was started under the Older Americans Act. And next year, in 2023, it'll be 50 years for us. We're the second group in the country with a Meals on Wheels program, and it'll be 50 years next year that we've been doing this service. And there's no less costly, easier thing to do than Meals on Wheels. And we are now, it's clear that we are the largest, believe it or not, in the country as far as number of home-delivered meals.
Wow.
Stats are bad, and we're all independent. We report to a local board. We're a local agency, Lifecare Alliance is. But we're clearly we do the most home-delivered meals of anybody in the country on a daily basis. And there are some other big ones, and trust me, that's a good way to go. The bigger you are, the cheaper your food gets to buy. And people think we get food from food banks. That's not the case. We do for our pantry, but for Meals on Wheels, we have to be able to prepare a full meal. Yeah. And compared to some of the stuff out there, we have a really nice meal. They're all low in fat, sodium, and sugar contents, and it's easy. So if you want to deliver and want to try this, and you haven't done it before, you want to get back to it, all the meals go out at lunchtime because we're getting to a point in the year here where you're not going to be able to see the house numbers pretty soon at 5 o'clock at night because it's going to be dark out. So all the meals go out at lunchtime, and frankly, that's the best time for digestion. Even if you're a young person, you should have your big meal at lunch. It's better for your body and for digestion. And they all go out at lunch, including weekends and holidays, and we're just always in need of people. And we also have the pet care program. We're one of a few major cities that has a pet care program to allow people to keep their pets, which is critical to them staying in their house. And so we have about 18 routes just on the weekends alone that just deliver pet food. No people food, just pet food. And that's important. Now,
I want to just jump in for a second. Chuck, if someone's out there and they're thinking, I want to volunteer, I want to help these folks, how do they get a hold of you and what do they need to do?
Very simple. There's a couple ways. They can call our volunteer hotline, which is 614-444-MEAL, M-E-A-L, which on your phone is 6325 if you still can see the buttons on your phone. And they haven't rubbed off, so it's 444-MEAL. And and that's outer counties too. You just dial it. And if you get the voicemail, just leave your name and number. Somebody will contact you. Trust me, usually within a day, and they'll tell you what's going on. Or you can go to lifecarealliance.org, just like it sounds, but .org, lifecarealliance.org. Click on volunteering, and there's some places to leave your contact information. You do have to be trained. We have online training with COVID now. We never had that, but you can do in person or online because you got to know which meal goes to which person and how that works. And also when you're going into stopping by somebody's house, half the service is the meal. The other half of the service is checking on the person. And it might be at the door when you hand off the meal, and it might just be, hey, Mark, how you doing today? And that's good enough. But we do find some people in distress, and we want you to know how to take care of those situations, which we don't expect you to be physicians. You just, if somebody's in great distress, you call 911 and wait for them to come, and then you're clear and let us know. And there's a big number on the route sheet. You call us. But generally, you're going to find this is a wonderful, rewarding process. You get to meet the clients, so you're not just in a warehouse packing food, although you can do that for us too if you want to do that. But you get to meet the clients, you get to see them, you get to know them. We have many people that really get attached to them after a while. And but you're really providing a service that every study ever done, including some current ones, say it's the number one way you stay independent in your own home. We've got to keep this going so that when we're all ready for meals or need a little service, we can get them too.
Nobody wants to be in a nursing home.
No, they don't, or assisted living.
Yeah,
But
it's tough.
they have their place. So for the nursing
course.
home operators out there, they have their place. And my mom was in a nursing home. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
very blunt about it. She had Alzheimer's. And when you get Alzheimer's or severe dementia, you a lot of times can't stay at home unless somebody's with you 24 hours a day. But people want to stay in their home. And the beauty of this is if you stay in your home versus going into one, if you're low income, and you end up in nursing home situations, Medicaid kicks in and pays for it, which is great, except that costs the taxpayers money. And ARP right now says it's over $87,000 per person per year in Central Ohio. For each person we keep independent in their own home where they want to be. And that $87,000 is Medicaid kicking in when they can't afford to go into these places. And that is also the average price for one person for 1 year in an assisted living or nursing home situation in Central Ohio. Now, some of the assisted living and nursing home places I'd like to move into this afternoon because, frankly, they're gorgeous and they have all kinds of programming and stuff, but they average $87,000 a year, and if a person can't pay for it, we don't want our seniors living under a bridge, so Medicaid kicks in, which is your tax dollars, which comes out of your paycheck. The other thing I want to point out here, if you're listening to this at your company, and we know a lot of companies listen to this station, companies deliver for us. They adopt a route, and they have two people go out at lunchtime. Instead of going out to lunch, they go and deliver meals, and they come back. And I'll tell you, many of our companies offer this as an employee benefit now. You know, people are coming back into the office. They want to work at home sometimes, but they're coming back into the office. And the fact of the matter is, you've got to have an attraction for them to be there sometimes. And if you allow them to go out and deliver meals, this is looked upon. All the companies that support this and do this for us, it costs the company nothing. And the companies that let their people go out at lunchtime and deliver meals, they all just absolutely love it.
What a great morale builder.
It is. And you can put people of different departments in a car together, or put a couple. You can go by yourself, but it's better to go with somebody. You get to know each other. It's a wonderful thing, and it's a great. And a lot of our companies do actually list it on their list of benefits, so it's a big deal. So if you're listening to this, think about that too.
Chuck Gehering is here from Lifecare Alliance, the Meals on Wheels people. It's lifecarealliance.org. That's the website. Or if you want to give them a call and volunteer to help deliver meals, 614-444-MEAL. That's 614-444-6325. So 444-MEAL. That's pretty easy to remember. Chuck, I know a lot of people, you know, they maybe want to volunteer. They're a little worried about the way gasoline prices are now. But the meals actually come out to central locations near where the people will deliver, right?
Right. You are correct. And except on holidays generally, because then it's a smaller number of meals. So you come to our building on the west side on Harmon Avenue. But generally, let's say you're delivering in Worthington today. The meals would come to a control point by Worthington. Right now, it's always a church parking lot we have a deal with, but we don't pay them because we don't have the money. And, for example, Epworth United Methodist Church, if you know where that is, up on Carl Road. So there's a stop there. A van you're pre-trained. You'll know what time to show up. A van will pull up, one of our vans or one of the contractor vans, and they'll have 7-8 routes on it. They'll hand you your route sheets, your bags, and off you go, and you'll deliver around there, and then drop your bags back off there, and you go home. So you'll never leave Worthington or Clintonville or somewhere in that area. That's one of the stop points. And that's true of all the places. Now, on weekends and holidays, we have more people come to our building, but you can do that. And if you don't want to drive around, we never lose people because of gas prices, really. I mean, it's really when the gas prices got to $4.99 in town, we had like 2 people call and say, well, I can't do it anymore. Great, we understand, but there's a couple of people. That's it. And but if you don't want to drive around, you can work in our warehouse at 670 Harmon Avenue. You can pack foods. You can pack the pantry foods. You can shop in the pantry. You have a list, literally a shopping list, and you're going through shelves and you're putting things together for families who have going through cancer right now, things like that. And kid groups can do it. You can do it with your work groups. You can do it by yourself. You can bring it. And the other thing is, with all this volunteering with us, you can take your kids with you or your grandkids. And we always hear that the best conversations are on a Meals on Wheels route, because you're not talking about, well, but Billy, why did you get a C instead of a B in that course? You're talking about Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
on any street, on the side street. And it's really a great way to get together, and the kids just love it. And trust me, the people just love seeing the kids.
What are the requirements to be a volunteer if you want to deliver meals?
Well, we will run, there's no cost to you at all for any of this. We will run a quickie background check on you because you are going to somebody's house, and that's mandated by the federal government, which is good. And other than that, you just have to be able to drive. And we have high school kids doing it as long as they can drive. So if you can have a driver's license, you're good. And again, you can take friends with you. It's a great thing to do on a weekend. You get a couple friends together, you deliver meals, and you go to lunch or something. What a great way to catch up. Take your family with you over the holidays that are in town. You want to get them out of the house probably while they're in town the holidays. So take them out and deliver meals.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. And but there's a little training program, and you need to know which meal goes where and how to read the route sheet and things like that. But it's very, very simple to do, but you just need to know what you're doing and make sure you're giving the right food each day to each person.
Now, obviously, Meals on Wheels is subsidized by the federal government. It's a federal program.
Yeah.
But the difference is between, let's say, a Cleveland and a Columbus is how the system is run.
Yeah.
And then here it's run with volunteers.
Yeah. Well, we are subsidized by different government groups. The city helps us. City of Columbus is wonderful, and the outer counties help us. The county of Franklin, the state. There are different programs, but we're also supporting some of these meals through private donations. Don't get me wrong. We never have enough money for what we're doing volume-wise. And so we do provide them through grants and private donations. A lot of people send us money at holiday time, and that's very important to us. To be able to do this. But the difference is we're centralized here. And with food, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. That's always been the case with food. And we are one of the biggest healthcare accounts in the state for our food provider, U.S. Foods. And as a result, my broccoli is cheaper than your broccoli. And we can buy the food much less expensively and save on money. It also, because we've got the base to it, it cuts back. So while we're big and while we have buildings and equipment and a production line and things like that and refrigerator rooms, things like that on the west side, the fact of the matter is our cost per meal is always the lowest out there. And it just makes sense. A lot of meal providers are buying meals from a for-profit production company or a restaurant, and that's great, but like the reimbursement rate you get from the federal government barely covers that. So you're already in the hole.
Yeah.
And you can't possibly do anything. So it's important to have a base. So we were very smart here in Central Ohio years ago, Franklin County, to centralize it, and it's still centralized. There are some for-profit competitors out there, which is fine. And we don't care for them much, but that's okay. They only take the cheap meals to do. But the point here is, we've got to be able to get to these people. The people you'll see on your route are in need. And you can do your neighborhood, but you can also go to a different neighborhood if you wish to do that. We have some people that want to drive to different parts of the city just to see what the heck's going on. Hey, I've never been to the South End. I want to go to the South End.
Yeah.
Great, go to the South End. We've got plenty of routes there for you, and et cetera, et cetera. So you can see different things, and your kids will learn. If your kids go with you, and we have a lot of high schools and colleges delivering for us, they find out there's another side of life that they didn't even know. I had a lady ask me a few years ago. She said, "Where's your buildings?" And I said, "They're on the west side," which they are. They're on Mound Street and Harmon Avenue. They're about half mile either side of old Cooper Stadium where the Clippers used to play. So we all know. But then she looked at me and she says, "Oh, the west side. Do you mean Hilliard or Upper Arlington?" And I said, "You need a tour."
Yes, definitely.
And Hilliard and Upper Arlington are kind of the west side, but the west side, I'm talking about Mound Street and Sullivan Avenue and the west side. And the west side has a lot of lovely people who need your service. There's elderly people living there. And we're one of the few meals people in the country, I want to point this out, that take under age 60 people. To the feds, 60 is the senior age. And so most of the time, you can't get any reimbursement for things under 60. And we don't have a lot of money for that. But we will take money. The city helps us out with under 60s. The city of Columbus does, thank you very much. And some other people, White Castle and a couple other people, help us with that. And we'll take people under age 60 who have a chronic illness. So when we do our assessments, they assess out as a person who needs the work, that needs the meals. So here's the deal. How do I get meals? So if I'm just 70 years old, can I get meals? Not necessarily. I am if you could see me, I look 29, but I'm actually over 60. And I'm over 60. I don't qualify for the meals because I can drive. I have a couple bucks in my pocket, and I'm able to take care of myself in theory. Don't talk to my wife about that, but I can take care of myself in theory. That doesn't qualify for the service. If you want Meals on Wheels, we assess you on things called activities of daily living, which is a standard that was set up and used nationally. It was set up years ago out of Cleveland, believe it or not, one of the universities. And Case Western came up with it. And basically, we assess you on such things as, can you dress yourself? Can you go to the bathroom by yourself? Can you shower yourself or bathe yourself? A lot of people that we service can't get in and out of a bathtub, believe it or not, because they'll fall. Can you cook for yourself? Can you drive? Can you, et cetera, et cetera? Can you transfer from a bed to a chair? Those are some heavier duty things. Can you get that far in a wheelchair? So if you can't do those things, then you qualify. It's not money related, although we tend to attract the folks that are about 70% of our folks are under $1,200 a month income, which is an old Social Security check. But about 2% of the folks have money and can pay, and we ask them to help pay, and they do pay 2%. But that's most of our folks. Once you get to be elderly, you're on Social Security, and that pretty much puts you in the poverty level.
If you want to be a volunteer and help deliver Meals on Wheels, go to lifecarealliance.org. They have a volunteer section on their website, or you can give them a call at 614-444-MEAL. That's 614-444-MEAL. Chuck Gehering is here. He is the head of Lifecare Alliance. And Chuck, while we've spent the most of the time here talking about the Meals on Wheels program, Lifecare Alliance is much more than that, and you're growing.
Yeah. Well, we take on other agencies. We've taken those on over the years if they help our core client, which is a senior medically challenged person. So we have the oldest free cancer clinic in the country, the Columbus Cancer Clinic. We have the last really two diabetic nonprofit service organizations in this area, the Central Ohio Diabetes Association, Diabetes Dayton, and some other programs. We have an AIDS program, an AIDS nutrition program. But the new thing is that we've been doing this for decades now, but it's arthritis. But now we're telling people about it because there was always the Arthritis Foundation, and they still exist. But what we're seeing around the country is that national organizations that have a disease in their name are going all research all the time. They're not doing services to help you through your condition. They're just doing research to try to cure a problem, which is fine. And we've seen this with a number of organizations over the years. So the Arthritis Foundation has decided recently that they're just going to raise money for research. Great. They're not doing services anymore. So we've been doing services for years. I can tell you, when this all came up a couple years ago, we did a quickie run on our meals clients and found out that we had over 1,000 of them that listed arthritis as their number one diagnosis.
Wow.
Because we get the diagnoses. So you might have things like heart problems, all kinds of things. Diabetes and arthritis is a biggie. So we're stepping into that, and we're going to do the service. So we have an occupational therapist who will help you. If you have arthritis, you can call us, and she will assist you with durable medical equipment. We give that out to people for free. If you're on Medicare or Medicaid, that's your insurance, especially Medicaid, and you're coming out of the hospital and they say, hey, you need a walker. Don't expect that walker to show up at your house right away. It could be 6 months. We've had people go 6 months with nothing.
Oh, my gosh.
So we give that stuff out. So we have wheelchairs, walkers, potty seat extenders, which makes your potty seat higher. We have shower seats for you to sit in your shower, so you can do that. We do grab bars. We've always done the chores program here, which is modifications of your house to fix it up. We do grab bars. We do all kinds of things like that, and they have to be fit. You can imagine a walker for somebody that's 5'2" is different than a walker for somebody who's 6'5". And we see people walking down the street all bent over on a walker. Well, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And it's more than just that. It's also how can I we run an exercise class at Marion Franklin Center, and just for arthritis victims. And there are specific exercises you can do that will help your arthritis. They'll help you become more flexible. It's a flexibility situation. And then, of course, you get back to nutrition again. Are you eating right to take care of your arthritis? You know, if you're way, way overweight, then maybe we need to help you with something there. But arthritis is a horrible disease. So we've been doing it for decades, but we've expanded what we're doing. We now have our own occupational therapist helping people out with this, helping with education, and we can do that. And our main number, if you call our main number, which is 614-278-3130, and say, hey, I've got arthritis, I need to talk to somebody about that. They'll hook you up with somebody right away who's our employee, and they will talk to you and provide you the education. If you need adaptive equipment or something like that to help you, or you need some of our other services, which are conducive and really necessary with arthritis, then they'll hook you up with those.
Well, if you're able to volunteer for Lifecare Alliance and the Meals on Wheels program, they really need you. And a lot of people in our community need you as well. So, Chuck, one more time before we end the program, how do people get a hold of you if they think they can volunteer to deliver meals?
Yeah, if you want to volunteer either to deliver meals, work in our warehouse, do whatever. If you want to explore other volunteer opportunities with us, like the front desk of the Columbus Cancer Clinic is run by a volunteer, generally. So if you want to explore those, just call our volunteer hotline, which is 614-444-MEAL, MEAL, which is 6325. So it's 444-6325. Go to lifecarealliance.org, and you'll see that number on our big purple sign just south of the split on 71 South when you're going down there with all the construction. You know, a nice view. They took out some of the trees down there, so you got a nice view of our sign now. The number's on that. Or go to lifecarealliance.org, and we will get in touch with you and hook you up. Thank you very much.
And this isn't just Franklin County, right?
No, it's all around. We took people from 40 counties last year, so overall in our programming. So it depends. Meals is in, we're the main meal provider in 5 counties, but then we do, like the Cancer Clinic took people from 40 counties last year. So, but most of the volunteer work is here in Franklin. And get us call. But if you're in question, just call or email, and we will we'll talk to you about it and see what you're willing to do and able to do, and we'll help you out. But you're gonna find it as the most rewarding thing you've done in a long time, and it's so simple and easy. An hour and a half out of your day, and you're done.
Our guest has been Chuck Gehering from Lifecare Alliance. Again, lifecarealliance.org. Chuck, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. You can send questions or comments about today's show to Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. Or email us at columbusconcerns@napcomedia.com.
I'm Tiffany Haddish.
And I'm Marlon Wayans. African Americans are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer than any other racial or ethnic group.
When you or someone you love is facing a pancreatic cancer diagnosis, access to cutting-edge treatment can help make long-term survival possible and improve future patient outcomes.
That's why Stand Up to Cancer and the Lustgarten Foundation have teamed up to bring over 30 pancreatic cancer clinical trials to those who need them.
Learning all you can about pancreatic cancer, including treatment options and what clinical trials are available, can give you or a loved one even more than hope. It can help make long-term survival possible.
For more information about the latest pancreatic cancer research and clinical trials near you, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad. Your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.